What up, people? I suppose let's talk about Arsenal's situation. Let's talk about Arsenal's weekend bid, where they bid 22.5 million for Edouard. What does this mean? It seems like it's a straight choice between Partey and Aouar. Who would you choose? And thirdly, we are interested in a Wonderkid that is being compared to Martinelli. Would you get him? Let's see. Let's see how we go. All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. Now, I hope you guys are all well. Apologies for not doing any type of show yesterday. I was supposed to do a member stream and a show, like a normal Eagle Eye show. I'm going to lie to you, though. I was coughing like a madman yesterday. So I literally just said, fuck it. So what I'm going to do, I'm kind of tentatively testing my voice today in the hope that by Wednesday, it'll be fine. So I'm going to say Wednesday is going to be the member stream. We'll have like a good session on Wednesday of a member stream. So look out for Wednesdays. So I don't want to say tomorrow just in case I have a reaction to today's one. And then again, I might surprise you. Who knows? Hopefully, if you haven't already seen it, though, I did drop a video. I dropped a video yesterday, and that was the Premier League predictions video. If you've not had a chance to see that, because I've had so many people tell me they've not had any alerts for my channel for months, I will attach that to the end of this show. But it's interesting. I do all 20 teams, 15-minute video, so it won't be too long. So do check that out. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about some stories, because that's why you're here, right? That is why you're here. Let's talk about, I just realized I don't have him on my thing. Yes, I do. Emilio Martinez. Stop my camera so it doesn't look so shit. Emilio Martinez obviously did his medical on Saturday, as predicted by yours truly, by the way. He was in Birmingham completing his medical. And watching, well, I don't know if he ended up watching the team in the end, but he completed his medical on Saturday. And seems like everything went by fine. Putting the final kind of touches to, the social media stuff. The deal is set to be worth an initial £16 million, with add-ons that will drag the deal to £20 million. My final thoughts on this are this. For me, I'm gutted in a lot of ways because I think he's a better keeper than Leno. A very good example of that for me with regards to Leno was Leno had a bit of a moment where he had to make a save early in the game, and it just, for me, flapped at it. Whereas I think with Martinez, he'd have caught it and he would have secured it. But I was talking about this with a few different people. And actually, I've come to the conclusion that the best thing to do was to sell him. You can't have a player dictate when he should play and when he shouldn't. And don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with having ambition. You should rightly have ambition. He should rightly be like, well, my man can't just waltz back into the team. And I would agree with that. But if he basically said to Mikel Arteta, and from my understanding, what the conversation that basically took place was, he asked, is he number one? Mikel Arteta says, well, you have the jersey at the moment, because and that was proven to you by the fact that I started you against Liverpool. But I can't promise this to you moving forward. You just have to keep up your performances. And he's basically said, in a way, I can kind of see both sides of the story. He's basically said, listen, I've been here for 10 years, waiting to be number one. I'm not going to wait any longer. I've got so many teams interested in me. So if you're telling me that I can't be number one somewhere, I can't be number one here, then I'll go and find somewhere I can be number one. And understandably, they've come to kind of a conclusion of, all right, well, provided your valuation is met, we'll let you go. And I think I always said this. For me, if there was if we needed to raise 20 million that badly, and you asked me, gun to my head, who would I rather let go of, Martinez or Ainsley Maitland-Niles? I pick Martinez without hesitation, even though I think he's a good goalkeeper. So, although I'll come to Ainsley Maitland-Niles in a second, now that I've said that. But yeah, I think, for me, I just wish him luck. I also think part of me thinks, I read a brilliant article over the weekend, and I think it's true. Part of me thinks that maybe he felt like it would only go downhill from here. Like, when you really think about it, you've been waiting 10 years to prove yourself at a club that you love, right? And you finally do it. You performing well. The fans are recognizing that he's performing well. He wins the FA Cup. So he starts for an FA Cup final, wins it in Wembley. Maybe in his mind, he felt like it don't get much better than this. Because how do you go from there? How do you go from Arsenal to Aston Villa? Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I think Aston Villa are quite a decent sized team, but it just feels like, it almost feels like he knew deep down it wouldn't get better than that. And that's why he wanted the guarantee. Otherwise, I think it's reasonable to say to anyone, no one's number one. If you play, you have that jersey, then play. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know, leave it in the comments below. So it's all about his replacement. Now, here's the thing that I've always kind of had a problem with. And I think I said this to Lee during the watch-along. And apparently somebody was watching that watch-along because then another transfer story came out. So we've been linked with this guy, as you guys know, David Raya, Brentford goalkeeper. Supposedly, we've had a couple of bids turned down already for him. One was for about £9 million. The next was for about 10. And, you know, Arsenal are very reluctant to go above that. And all the arguments that I've had, sorry, I'm just adjusting myself. Sorry, guys. All the arguments that I've had about selling Martinez and why it's good to sell Martinez is that supposedly we would have 20 million to spend on Thomas Partey. And in my mind, I'm thinking people are forgetting, you need to buy a replacement first. So it's not really 20 million. It's more like 10 to replace, to add to the Partey fund. If that's indeed the theory. So I always thought to myself, 10 million for this guy. You guys know I'm not a big fan of him. I don't particularly rate him. He kind of reminds me of a slightly better version of Bravo from Man City, or formerly Man City. I just don't see it. Yes, I get that he's young, he's 25, plenty of time to improve. He's certainly a decent close-range shot stopper. Clearly, the reflexes are on point. I just don't know about him handling-wise. I've seen him make some clangers in just a few games that I've watched him play. So, but Brentford clearly rate him highly. And they said, listen, unless, I think they're looking for something in the region of 15 million plus for him. And Arsenal, thank God, rightly said, well, no. Obviously, the player is distraught because the player wants to come to Arsenal. So Arsenal, in the meantime, have turned their attention to another goalkeeper by the name of, and I'm going to butcher it, but let me get his picture up at the very least. Hold on, let me show you what he looks like. Kind of looks like a B-Tech version of Alex Beninga, if you're old enough to remember him. Runar Alex Runnison. Runner Russon. Yeah. He's 25 years old. Someone who plays for a club called Dijon. A little worried about this guy, only for the simple reason that he's been number one at this particular club. He's from Iceland, by the way. I do like my goalkeepers from that area. Normally, they tend to be quite decent. My only thing that worries me about this guy is that towards, I think it was the beginning of this season, he's actually lost his number one spot to the number two guy. So that made me think, oh my gosh, how bad are you? I just thought, what? He was number one all last season. Then this season started, he's number two. So it kind of made me think, oh gosh, how bad are you? Arsenal are clearly looking for a deal. They need every penny that they can get. And that's why they're looking for a cheap deal. This guy is set to be worth £1.5 million to bring into the club. It almost just makes you think to yourself, why bother getting a replacement? Don't get it twisted. I don't think Matt Macy is the answer. But supposedly we have all these talented kids as goalkeepers. I say kids, they're like 18, 19, 20 in the youth setup. Why not just call up one of them? At least you've had an opportunity to work with them longer, so you kind of have a better idea of what their weaknesses are. Bringing in this nobody that lost his number one spot is not exactly inspiring me. And I get it. You're probably sat there thinking, so Chick, let me get this straight. First of all, we were linked with David Raya. You weren't happy. Now we're being linked to this guy who's a lot cheaper. You're not happy. What do you want? I just want someone that's good enough. For me, it's all well and good saying, all right, cool, we're going to sell Martinez. But most other clubs have some sort of backup plan. And it seems like Arsenal planning is not their best forte. I'd almost rather just take a chance. We got a couple of goalkeepers that are supposed to be hot shit in the youth setup. I'd rather just call up one of these guys and push them into the team. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Does anyone know about this kid? Because I ain't going to sit here and try and front like I've ever heard of this kid before. Because I ain't. I have never heard of him before. Never, ever, ever. I saw the story on Saturday, thought it was BS. Then I started seeing this story get some momentum. And I just thought to myself, oh, okay, so this is an actual thing. Okay, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. All right, just quickly just pop it into the chat. Just check you guys are all okay. As we keep this thing moving. I'm hoping I already have a picture of him. Otherwise, I'll just talk about... Actually, yeah, I will talk about him. Let's talk about Matteo Guendouzi. So Matteo Guendouzi came out today. This I found quite interesting because over the weekend, we were hearing stories about the fact that, you know, he's getting ready to integrate himself back into the team. He's just started training with the first team squad again. Apparently his attitude has improved a hell of a lot since Arteta last spoke to him. Quite frankly, I'm at this point now where with Arteta, yeah, it seems like he's so reluctant to let people go. I kind of will see it when I believe it, sort of thing. But supposedly he's still not particularly that interested in having Guendouzi in the setup. Obviously, further proven by the fact that Guendouzi was nowhere near the squad against Fulham. So I think the grand plan is for Guendouzi to still leave the club. He's obviously an asset that can raise us a decent amount of money should someone be interested in buying him. Guendouzi himself, who seems to be reluctant to go anywhere, keep in mind he's rejected 3 different clubs. Today gave his green light, as the report says. And this is according to AS publication, Spanish publication, that says that he'd be quite interested in joining Atletico Madrid. I find that quite interesting because I just think to myself, yeah, with your attitude, do you think you can pull that kind of crap on Diego Simeone and get away with it? I always want him to join just because I'm curious more than anything. So yeah, he said that he'd be open to any deal involving Thomas Partey if it meant him joining Atletico Madrid. The only problem is that Guendouzi was never the problem in that situation. It was Atletico Madrid. They are the ones that are very reluctant to do any form of swap deal, even though they've gone on register to say that they are interested in Guendouzi. They're interested in Lacazette. They were interested in Lucas Torreira as well, until Torreira made it clear that he actually wants to return to Italy, not a move to Spain. So kind of it's kind of like, well, so you're interested in these players, but yet you don't want to do some sort of swap. It just feels like you're trying to. I don't know. Something just seems a real off about that deal. But I think we're going to run towards the end of the transfer window with this Thomas Partey thing. Speaking of which, I suppose you can't talk about Thomas Partey without talking about Aouar. And I don't think I have a picture of Aouar, so I'm going to have to put my mug on back on the thing. How do I not have a picture of Aouar? That's mad. All right. So let's talk about Aouar. So Houssem Aouar is a player that I know you guys badly want. You guys know I like him. I rate him. I viewed him very, very highly. I'm still finding it difficult to believe that the deal will get done. You guys have seen me. I'm very non-committal when it comes to this story. But I must accept this is at the point now where when it quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, you're starting to hope it's a duck. And we're at the point now where I have to start really treating this story seriously, that maybe Arsenal are trying to find a way of getting it done. Supposedly, Edu is locked in talks with his boy, Jorginho, which, for anyone who doesn't know, is the Leon head honcho. They're very, very close. In fact, Jorginho came out last week and admitted as such. So they're having constant talks. Supposedly, the stumbling block at the moment is that Arsenal, the most that they want to go to is 45 million. Leon, quite rightly, are not budging. They need the money. And what they basically said is, listen, straight up, if you up that by 9 million, he's yours. But if you don't, then we'll keep him. Arsenal are banking on the fact that, obviously, since then, over the weekend, Houssem Aouar has flat out said, listen, I want to leave the club. Arsenal is showing the most interest. Barcelona are still sniffing around. Man City are said to be closely monitoring the situation. I'm still finding it difficult that we're going to win that race when these type of players are the ones that, when these types of teams are the ones that want him. But supposedly that seems to be the case. I'm curious, though, what do you guys think? Is this a deal that you think is going to happen? In fact, scratch that. Let me ask you a question. I don't want to put it on a poll or anything. I just want to ask you guys straight. Who would you rather prefer? If it comes to a straight choice, because you feel like Arsenal are going to scrimp and save and not want to get both of them. So if that's the case, who would you rather Arsenal concentrates on? A Partey or on Aouar? Now, to be fair, you guys already know my choice. But to be honest, I think there are good arguments for both. You know, I think if you go with Partey, which everyone knows is my choice, people will say, oh, well, you know, you have Granit Xhaka there. If you keep Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he has the ability to play as an anchor. To you know, you have other people that can play that deep lying role. And even Aouar himself can play that deep lying role. The other argument is that for me, we have not had a player like Partey in so long. Yes, against Fulham, we were comfortable. It was Fulham. They were terrible. You know, I think this is a real good opportunity. If we're not going to solve every problem at once, this is a real good opportunity for me to solve a long-term issue of ours, and that has been defensive midfield. How many times have we gone into this summer period and talked about us needing a defensive midfielder? And you don't get a lot better than Partey. There are only two other players that I would accept to have that is an alternative to Partey. One of them is Summary. You guys know that I rate him very, very highly, even if I can't say his name properly. I rate him very, very highly, and that's the guy from Lille. I don't think he's a defensive midfielder, but again, someone that could play the role, excellent passing range, very, very young at 21, so you've got plenty of resale value there. I don't know if Lille will let him go that easily, I got to admit. So we might need to move quickly if we really do decide to abandon this Partey thing. But I think his ceiling, it will grow way past what Partey is right now. And then the other person is Zangara from Toulouse, who I've mentioned on this channel quite a few times. Big 6'4" brick shithouse type of player. No nonsense, an absolute pure DM, and said to be going for quite cheap. You know, Arsenal have monitored him for quite some time. He was valued at 22 million when then Toulouse got relegated, and there's a belief that he'd go for as little as 10. For me, this is a guy we should be. I mean, that's the only other alternative I want to hear is Sangara for me. You guys know I'm passionate about that guy. I want that guy at the club. I just want someone who's in the middle of the park and is not going to get bullied by you know, random Sheffield United players or random Brighton players. Look at the way Chelsea just brushed Brighton this evening as I record this. You know, if that was Arsenal, we're probably getting piped. I just want us to just go and make an impression on one of these guys that can really influence the game from a defensive standpoint. Because I do think that we seem to have a talent in Gabriel. We seem to have a talent in Saliba. But the way you reinforce that talent for me is key. Don't look at the fact that we had a clean sheet against Fulham and think, oh, okay, well, we can just mosey on with Granit Xhaka. No. Go and reinforce that talent with someone like a Partey character. And if you can't get a Partey, please, oh, please, oh, please, tell me Sangara is somewhere on your shortlist. So tell me Summary is somewhere on your shortlist. Because those are the only other two I want to hear about. I want to hear about any other party alternative. Every time I see a story saying party alternative, I get pissed off. I do get pissed off. But again, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm just rabbiting for no reason. Let me know. Again, leave it in the comments below. Do you know what I like? I like this Jaden guy because he's been in my channel before. I kicked him out before. And he's come into my channel again just to tell me that I have a shit channel. So, sweetheart, do me a favor. Before I kick you out permanently, can you stick a like on the video? Don't bother subscribing. Just hit a like on the video. You done that, yeah? All right, cool. Suck my dick and enjoy the block. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Big up, Steph. I see you, girl. I hope you're well. What else have I got to talk about? Camavinga. Yeah, people keep talking to me about Camavinga. He's very, very young, shown immense talent, but getting him, let's be real, is not going to be possible, is it? So it is what it is. I blocked him, Jayhead. I blocked him. But yes, it is what it is. With Camavinga, Camavinga is kind of like the Mbappe of defensive midfielders, so I'm not even going to include him in that type of situation. Do you know what I mean? Like John just said it himself. He's like 70 to 80 million. He's not one I'm going to realistically start talking about here. But again, anyone that has any details on him, let me know, just so that I am including him in all my stories. People wanted to know what I thought about the fact that we would bid for Usman Edouard. I keep calling him Dembele. Edouard. I figured because I'm about to start talking about strikers, let me bring him up. I felt like I've spoken about him already, but maybe I haven't. Usman Edouard, I think this is a guy that I would suggest 90% of Arsenal fans really, really like, wouldn't mind in the team. It's someone that a lot of people really like. 6 foot, but he's like kind of built, very kind of stocky kind of character, good pace, and is just a goal machine. And actually, what I really like about him is he'll move to a team, score a different, he'll score a certain amount of goals, and then those goals just keep increasing season on season. So we're talking about a kid that is just getting better and better and better. 22, 23 years old. From what I can see, very, very humble. And I think a lot of people would say, if Lacazette left, yeah, I would love this kid. And I think therein lies the interesting debate about this one. Because there was a lot of very interesting stories floating around on Saturday. One of which was the fact that Lacazette was imminently going to leave. You guys know I've been talking about the fact that Lacazette's very interested in a move to Atletico Madrid. And it almost seemed as though Arsenal were kind of nudging him towards that direction. I don't know if it was with regards to doing the Partey deal. I don't know if it was with regards to just gaining some cash through the door, but it was sort of nudging him towards the exit. And then this story obviously grew and grew to the point where, Lacazette had to address it. And his attitude is always, he basically said, listen, for him, he loves Arsenal. He's very focused on Arsenal. That all this paper talk, he blames the media for it. But because as far as he's concerned, he has never once said that he wants to leave Arsenal. He said that he even referred to his comments after the FA Cup final, where he said that Arsenal was his dream club, and that he's never said anything different. And that if it's up to him, he would stay at Arsenal. So I do find it interesting because obviously something seems like it's happening, because that also then coincided with the fact that some geezer came out on a podcast. I forgot his name now. I thought it was Jonathan something. Forgot his name. Came out on a podcast and randomly made this claim that Arsenal have bidded 22.5 million for Usain Edouard. I find it hard to believe that story, because Celtic are very public whenever they reject a bid for one of their players. Very public. Look at the way they did with Tierney. They kind of let the whole world know that Arsenal bid something for their player, which they didn't think was good enough. And they let everybody know that Arsenal did that. I don't feel like that's happened here. I don't feel like some geezers basically said something on the right podcast and it's caught traction. That's genuinely what I think has happened. But for me, if it is true that we're looking at Edouard, I like it. What I would say to Edouard, for me personally, this would be the approach I would take to this Edouard situation. I say to Edouard, listen. Interesting. I say to Edouard, listen. We ain't going to be able to afford you today. However, if you stay at Celtic one more season, we'll come and get you next season. Just stay one more season. We'll come and get you next season. Because you would have thought by then we'd be looking to sell Lacazette. 30 years old, we'd be looking to sell him. And I think then that way, I think everything kind of ticks over fine. I think the people who are hardcore Lacazette fans will be satisfied that we probably got the best out of him. Lacazette himself, he won't feel like he's being pushed out. And I know what certain people are going to read this thinking, why does any of that matter? Me personally, you guys know why I sell Lacazette, and I like Lacazette. I sell him. But, I think sometimes, realistically, from a finance point of view, we ain't got if we had £22 million for Edouard, then I don't want to hear no shit about, you have to make a choice between Partey and Aouar. No. So why are you spending £22 million on a player we didn't really need? Go and spend it on the two players we actually need. So that's kind of what I want to see. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Please leave it in the comments below. Thank you, my darling. I appreciate that. As the lady says, please do smash the like button on this video. Over 200 people watching me at 11 p.m. Awesome. Thank you. Maybe not such a dead channel after all, eh? Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I am, at least before I started this, 35 away from 9K, and therefore 1,035 away from 10K. So it'd be awesome if I could definitely at least get the 9K one ticked off on the next couple of days. So please do help me hit that subscribe button. You're all welcome, whether you're an Arsenal fan or you're not. Please do that. That'll be great. Do I have any other thing to talk about? I know that we've been linked for a Wonderkid. I'm trying to look for that. I'm trying to look for the name of that guy. I thought I had it, and I don't have it anymore. 2 seconds. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I know, professional out here. Absolute professional. Hold on. I suppose I could talk about Kolasinac. There you go. Marcus Paulo. Let's talk about Marcus Paulo first. But I've got a Kolasinac story that maybe not a lot of you are going to love. So I'll talk about this guy first. And that is Marcus Paulo. Marcus Paulo is a Fluminense striker, 19 years old, heavily compared to Martinelli, of course. Someone who a lot of people are like, though. A lot of teams like. He's been linked with a host of teams. West Ham was weirdly one of them. AC Milan was another one of them. Leeds was another one of them. It currently has a 40 million euro. No, excuse me, not euro. 40 million pounds. I don't think it's dollars. Yeah, pounds. Release clause to his contract. Obviously, no one's paying that. There's a belief that his team would let him go for around about 18.5 million. He scored a lot of goals at youth level, but what people really like about him is that he seems to be learning on the job and doing a good job in terms of moving that on to senior level. I think he's played 4 senior games and he's got 3 assists and 2 goals. So decent looking player. Don't know a lot else about him. Supposedly he's very agile. Not amazing amount of pace. He's not got Martinelli pace, but he's got very good dribbling skills. Very confident. Can go either in the inside or outside. Just a typical Brazilian. You know, these Brazilians are always confident. So when I say typical Brazilian, it's 2020. Let me qualify it. I mean that in the best possible sense, by the way. You know, very, very confident on the ball. You know, very fearless on the ball. And a lot of teams are very interested in him. I've always said this to you guys. Sometimes when you've not heard of someone, it doesn't always apply. But I'll say most of the time it applies in football. When you've not heard of someone, you can usually tell by the caliber of teams that are interested in him. Now, obviously, you know, some will say, oh, well, that didn't apply with Martinelli. I think people forget that United were interested in Martinelli before he came to Arsenal. So, like I say, generally speaking, you can usually tell by the quality of the player, by the caliber of teams that are interested in him. So, I would say, don't write this one off. Let's see how we go. But he is supposedly being linked with a move to the club. And obviously, we are losing a Wonderkid. So it may come to a point of losing Balogun and swapping him with him and seeing how he gets on in the next 12 months. But what do you guys think? If we pay 18 million, I don't see him sitting on the under 23s. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And finally, a story you won't like, but it is what it is. And that is Sead Kolasinac. So you might remember me talking about the fact that Kolasinac was very interested in a move back home, essentially, to Germany. So much so that he'd been in informal talks with Schalke, had agreed terms. Not only had agreed terms to the point where he agreed to take a pay cut. Remember, Kolasinac is on £140,000 a week. Schalke were prepared to go up to £80,000 a week. He was prepared to take that. So much so that he was determined to leave the club. Kolasinac, as things stand, has 2 years left on his current deal. But he had talks with Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta has convinced him to stay at least 1 more year. Now, I know a lot of people will be gutted about that. Like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with Mikel Arteta? You can't let Mohamed El Nene go. You can't let Kolasinac go. And generally speaking, I would agree with you guys. Like, what's going on? But the Kolasinac one kind of makes sense. And I suppose I should bring Ainsley Maitland-Niles into this conversation as well. And I will do in a second. In terms of the Kolasinac deal, you need a left back for Kieran Tierney. You need one, no matter how poor he is. I think you just make it clear to him that, listen, Tierney's number one. It gives us an extra 12 months to actually scout for a decent backup to Tierney. Not only does it give us 12 months to scout for one, but let's face it, it gives us 12 months to actually look and afford one. We don't have money, guys. So we're not going to be able to solve all our problems at once. So reluctantly, I just think it's so shit. But reluctantly, I would take this evil if it means us doing something good. I'll take this evil. I'll take this bad point. Let me not say evil. I don't want to put that on myself. God forbid. So yes, I'll take this. I'll take this bad note if it means we do something good moving forward. But again, what do you guys think? Do you think we will end up doing anything good in the transfer window? I put it out there on Twitter. I'm starting to think we won't sell by anyone. But I must admit, to be fair, there's always that point in the summer, if you're an Arsenal fan, where you think you're not going to sign anyone. I just hit mine this week, today. That's all. Today was the very first time I thought that. So maybe, I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Suppose I better then talk about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, you guys remember, I did say I made a prediction that was a scary one. And I said that when Arsenal supposedly offered Martinez and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I said, I bet one, if not both of them, go. Initially I said one of them goes, leaves the club. As it turned out, that was Martinez. I then came back onto this channel. I told you about that story, and then I did say, I bet both of them end up going. Wolves are apparently still chasing Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And for every day I don't see any story talking about Hector Bellerin leaving the club, I am thinking more and more that Ainsley Maitland-Niles, despite the fact that he started on the weekend, will actually leave this club. So I say, don't unclench just yet when it comes to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I'm still very nervous that this club are very short-sighted, and instead of selling the person they should sell in Hector Bellerin and pricing themselves out of deals, they are going to let Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Oh, man, I ain't going to lie, I'll be pretty mad. It's like you let them both go, two of our better players. It's supposed to be improving our squad. Oh, man. Anyway, I hope not. I sincerely hope I'm wrong. I've just got this bad feeling. Especially with every day I don't see that Wolves have signed an alternative. With every day that passes that I don't see that Hector Bellerin has left the club, even on loan at this point, I'll take it. I am starting to worry. And I'm remembering my bold prediction. So if it happens, I sincerely apologize. But again, what do you guys think? Again, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right. Come into the chat room. I'm really testing my voice now, so I won't go on for too long and bore you guys too much. Let me see what you lot are saying. Please do slap a like. Almost 300 people watching at 11:15. First of all, you're nuts. Second of all, thank you very much. Third of all, hit that subscribe button. And fourth of all, holler at me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Give me any kind of questions and answers. I've looked at a lot of stories today in preparation for the show. And quite honestly, work got in the way. And so if I've forgotten any stories and you're thinking to yourself, oh, why didn't Chig talk about that? Throw it at me and I'll be able to see if I can give you an update on it. Just turned up. I'm going to have to catch the playback. Titus, I would blame you, but I know that my notifications are terrible. So apologies for that. Look at what Gabriel did. Look at what Van Dijk did. What was for dinner? Rice, actually. It was rice. Ditch Kolasinac. Chig, where's Lee? I don't know. Probably at home, brother. Hope you get better soon. Bless you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I do feel better. but I'm not quite there yet. Chances of Arsenal signing Partey out of 10. Here's my honest opinion. I'm going to do both. Chances of Aouar signing, 4 out of 10. Chances of Partey signing, 3 out of 10. That's my honest opinion, based on everything I'm seeing and general educated guesses. What's up, Ben? I hope you're good. Got a couple of Bens that follow me now. How do you know? Sorry, Chib, do you know who Martinez's replacement is? Well, I spoke about the Icelandic guy. Price-wise, it makes a lot of sense. I just don't think he doesn't sound good enough to be a number 3. Never mind a number 2. But I suppose you've got to take a chance on somebody. Kolasinac actually... hold on. Kolasinac actually did well when he came in last season. Billy, my guy, I like your name because it's nice and strong. But if you're telling me the way Kolasinac ended the season, and I keep in mind the Spurs game, do you want to retract your statement? I like your name, brother, but that's a wild statement. Doesn't surprise me, my guy. Doesn't surprise me. Don't mind Torreria leaving. Don't like Martinez leaving. And Chig, it's I said Emmy. What's wrong with saying Emmy now? That's for short, brother. Don't mind Laka leaving as long as it's all reinvested. Kwame, Chig, would you swap Partey for... Uh-oh, I dived off my screen. For Pepe? Yes. That's how much I like Partey and how much contribution he can add to the team versus people that can play in Pepe's position already. In all honesty, that's just me being honest. And I think Pepe's got it. I think he's going to step up this season, going to prove all you guys wrong. I've told you guys that before. But that is how much value we need in a Partey to me. So yes, I would. If Kola stays and Maitland now leave, what sense does that make? But Iffy, this is the club. This is what they do, bro. This is what they do. I don't know how you can look at Leno and Martinez. Oh, I don't know. Because I kind of said they were right in that situation, so I can't go back on that now. But I just feel like I do wonder how hard they tried to keep Martinez. I do wonder how hard they did try. Can we get Partey and Aouar? In my opinion, no. But if the Arsenal board really wanted to make Arsenal fans happy for once, Mr. Josh and his, I say, be excited. That would be a way to excite people. That would be a way for the Kroenkes to really make a statement and say, all right, motherfuckers, we've arrived. Let's do this. You know? 29 likes away from 100. Yes, please. Remember, guys, I am 35 away. Before I started this, 35 away from 9K. And I already know that about 30% of you ain't subscribed. so at least half of that 30%, go subscribe. It will help my numbers. Chig, what would you do with Pepe if he doesn't perform this season? Would you sell him or would you give him one last season? I'd give him one last season. I would. Because, bro, it's such a massive investment. What harm does it do giving him one more year? I'd be very disappointed if he didn't step up this season. But at the same time, he also needs a chance to play. This is why the Willian thing, yeah, all right, don't get me wrong, he did great first game. But the Willian thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, why would you bring him in just to play him ahead of Pepe, who you spent 70 million on the summer before? Oh, anyway, we started. How can you trust this process? Good question. I'm just, for me, I know it sounds negative. I've just never been about blindly following or trusting anything, especially something brand new. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what happens. I'm not even bitching about it anymore. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I can't from the positive aspect, we've won a trophy. We won on Saturday. We're top of the league. Great. There are a lot of stuff that still worry me, but I'm trying not to focus on it. So let's just see what happens. I'm done bitching about it as well. That's the other thing. But Arteta didn't buy him, Chicks. So if you are Josh, I'd have said to him, listen, we spent 70 million on this guy. We gotta make it work. Don't tell me Pepe did not come up in some kind of conversation when they spoke to Arteta about the job. No chance that doesn't happen. No chance. Okay, but Effie, why? Why? Why is Pepe 7 out of 10? Why is Aouar 3 out of 10? Why? What gives you that indication? We should still be top of the league after next weekend too. You say that. This is Arsenal, man. I'm gonna lie, man. This is Arsenal. Where they start fucking up is against these smaller teams. I know it's West Ham. It's another team that we have a pretty good record against, but I ain't talking that shit. I'm taking each game as it comes. Each game. Do you really think that we won't challenge for what should give you that indication that we should? The only reason that people don't want to hear this is because that's always the name on people's lips is Partey, Aouar, Partey, Aouar, Partey, Aouar. There's nothing, for anyone that doesn't want to take my word for it, Fabrizio suggests that we're nowhere near either of them at the moment. All we're doing at the moment is talking to Jorginho. Atletico Madrid don't even want to contemplate a swap. So why would I think in my mind that we're a 7 out of 10 in terms of chances of getting Partey? The only thing that we could do maybe is try and long it out as close as possible to the 5th of October and hope that one of these players falls through a move. But other than that, I don't see it happening. I don't. Jorginho. All right then, Jorginho. Chig, I think Pepe needs work on his weaker foot. He's T1 footed. But John, I also think that depends on when you place him as well. So maybe it's not the right hand side he needs to play. Maybe it's a number 10 he needs to play. I quite like the idea personally of Saka playing as a right hand sided player, Pepe in the middle, Aubameyang out left, or Aubameyang in the middle. Dare I say it? That would be great. Just make them interchanging. Off to bed, another good session, bro. Thank you, Hyper, brother. Been a while since I've seen you in here. Hope you're good. I think Arsenal has the money. I think the best way is to get good deals for everyone that's not in there. Pepe isn't direct, though. I disagree with you. I disagree. I think sometimes he's probably too direct, and that's why he gets brushed off the ball more often than not. I disagree. I think he has a tendency of, you don't see Pepe go sideways. He gets the ball, and his first thought is run forward. So that's why I disagree with that. Willian is just behind them. I think we should use Willian sparingly, to be honest. And I know, people are gassed on Willian because he got a hat trick of assists or whatever. I'd like to remind people, so did Mkhitaryan. Do you know what I mean? I think people just calm down. Saka on the left, Aubameyang in the middle, Pepe out right. But I could see why Aubameyang is given that left-hand role. I could see it. I could see why. Pepe will flourish at a free role. I think so. I think so. Because the thing you need to do for him is that you need to make him not so predictable. So if you could take away that element of, all right, I've got this guy who's very clearly left-footed. If I play him centrally, he can go either way. And he's got a hell of a shot on him. He's got a free kick on him. He's so talented. He's got good penalties on him. He's a decent passer. Maybe his short-range passing, I would suggest, might need to be slightly sharper. But other than that, I think you could definitely make it improve. And with all due respect to Morton, because everyone's allowed their opinion, you get to prove people like Morton wrong. Pepe's a baller. His game on and off the ball is good. He links up with Aubameyang good. Pepe can turn his game on his head. 100%. Well said, Diego. Bad the process. Pepe is a technically gifted, but he's lost on his position. You know what I find hilarious? That Pepe has been involved in 18 goal contributions, and people are still saying his shit. 18. It's amazing. I hope Martinelli puts the work in on his return, whenever that may be. Good talent there. Agreed. Exactly. Bro, tell him. I'm done telling him. Tell him. John Dove, I think last season Pepe didn't get enough game time to improve. Didn't get game time, didn't get consistency. Had 3 different managers with 3 very different instructions. I mean, all things considered, first season in a brand new and a tougher league, and people want to tell me shit. I ain't trying to hear that. Chig, did you hear that vid I said we don't need to sell to get our targets? What's your opinion on that? But to be fair, I not only did I realize that last week, but to be fair to him, as much as I hate giving him credit, Lee has been telling you that. It's been telling you that. And I realized this last week when people were telling me, oh, well, we need to sell Martinez to put him in, to put that 20 million. Would you sell Martinez if it meant getting Partey? And I'm like, what? So we need 10 million that badly? And then the geezer was like, what do you mean 10 million? Martinez will be at least 20. It's like, duh. You know we need a replacement, right? What are you talking about? So I thought to myself, there's no way Arsenal are not Bolton. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we are lauded with money, but I also don't think we're so dependent on sales. But like I said to you, what was it, on Friday? Arsenal love this. They love this narrative that they're poor. It suits them. I remember hearing that story last year, and I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, when they were like, oh, that, you know, people like, who's this guy that people call Oracle? Ornstein and people like that were pushing this narrative so hard. Even that idiot from Sky Sports made him look like an idiot. Every single day, my man's coming on Sky Sports saying, let me tell you something. I promise you, it is impossible that Arsenal buy Nicolas Pepe or Wilfried Zaha. It's impossible. I don't care if it's installments or anything. It is impossible. Arsenal love that shit because it helps them in their negotiation. It helps them. So that's why they're in no hurry to change that. Unfortunately, it then just means a waiting game for us. That's what it means. But I've never personally thought that we are so dependent on getting Nicolas Pepe that we need 10 million from a Martinez sale. Nope. But I also think that sales will help us. We need to get people off the books. Not to mention, we already have 7 people too many anyway. So, it is what it is. One more question, I'm out of here, guys. Almost 200 people watching. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get this thing moving, because I've got work in the morning. Juice. Aouar. Anybody else? 250 people watching. Here we go. Evan, would you swap Aubameyang for Son and Partey? What? As in Tottenham's one? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather we just go and get Sangara. Smash the likes. Yes, please. Support the channel. What the hell are we going to do, Ursel? Brother, look at it this way. Come May, this will no longer be a problem anymore. Just let it go over your head until May. Don't even focus on it. If United don't get Sancho, we'll finish above him in 4th. Ooh. I don't think it's impossible. I don't, because I do like Sancho. I think he's good. I do still think people overrate him a little bit, but I do think he's a good player. Chin, it's because we already beat big teams. So if you add 2, we could challenge. If you think that is only going to take 2 players to challenge, you're optimistic. You're optimistic. I hope so. I hope you're right, though. How much do you think we could get for Kolasinac? Ethel. 5 million? 6 million? Something like that? I think he's like, to be fair, he's like 27 years old. So yeah, 6-7 million. Something like that. How should Arsenal approach in the Liverpool game? I'll cover that when we do a preview. Yeah, I'm going to head off as well. Rumor is we got an Emmy replacement for 1.8. Yeah, sure, you missed it. I talked about it earlier. It's 1.5 actually. But I talked about it earlier. All right, guys, I'm going to head up out of here. But thank you so much for being so active so late. I appreciate it. Do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button. Again, if you haven't already. I'm hoping I am that much closer to 9K. If I don't do it now, then I'm sure I'll do it over the weekend. But anyway, until tomorrow, take care. Wait, hold on. I always forget to do this. I always forget to take the comments just before I play the outro. It's so annoying. Hold on. There you go. Professional out here. Peace.